Hello, friends. We're back again with our fathers, our brothers, our husbands, our sons. And I'm so excited because we have our first interview with two fathers who happen to be father and son. And I'm so excited to introduce them to you. My guests today are Mr. Anthony Simmons, who is U.S. Government worker. He works for the U.S. Navy as a mechanical engineer. He's done that for over 40 years, and he's also a graduate of Drexel University with a master's degree in mechanical engineering. And he's a mentor on his job for students, high school students who would like to learn about robotics. And they compete on the local, the state, and the national level. And he can share more of this exciting project with you. And also I have his son, Philip Barnes, who is the husband of Nicolette and the father of three wonderful children. And he's a graduate of Penn State University. He's a realtor and he's an entrepreneur, and he is just a very active member of Cross Cultural Christian Theater. And he has just agreed, he volunteered. He didn't know he was volunteering, but he volunteered to do this interview. So I'm going to just toss it off to you guys, and thank you for being with us. And just Phil, you go ahead. It's your show. You're on mute.
Thank you so much. All right, so I guess we'll just jump into it, Dad. Well, first I'll just preface this by saying I'm going to ask you about your hero. And first, you're my hero. I think you did a great job of being a father, and doing a tremendous job of being a better job of being a grandfather, and a great uncle and husband. So just briefly is growing up, I think one of the greatest things I had going for me was to be able to know my grandparents, even though my grandfather was a lot shorter than my grandmother's, but just knowing where they came from, and the value of home ownership and the value of family. I think that kind of molded me into having a strong sense of family and responsibility and sacrifice, because I saw that. So my first question for you, who would you say, you can be brief or extended, who would you say your heroes are or were, or whatever you want?
Well, I had two heroes, Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. I guess you could say they were opposite ends of the spectrum. One was more, how you say, well, like I said, they were opposite ends of the spectrum. If you look at it, as far as one more was radical, another one was not. But towards the end, they were coming together as as they were sinking as far as the ideas. And every time I think about I think if they were still living, I think the black race in this country would be a lot different than the way they are today. So those are my two heroes. Well, I had to put two heroes down there.
Nice. Yeah, I would say that they're on the top of my list as well. And I think just studying them, a lot of you kind of go back and forth, like, okay, well, Martin, he's the guy, and then you have Malcolm. No, Malcolm. Just see things from a different perspective. For everything, there's a time and a space, and I think they encompass time and space well. Sometimes you have to be tough. Sometimes you have to, go a little mainstream to get your point across. But I can definitely see why they'd be your heroes, as well as mine. Yep. Something a little less serious. Now, if you could live anywhere, where would it be?
On the beach.
On the beach.
By the ocean.
I knew that was definitely your answer. And I always say that if we can't find you one day, you probably been swept out to sea. It made a good lunch for somebody.
The only way the environment is going now.
Yeah.
You'll be swept, right? You said you're in the house one day and you're out in the ocean the next day.
Yeah. Mount Airy might be a beachfront property in no time.
Yeah.
Thanks to global warming. So, all right. So now, well, I would guess that's your favorite vacation time too, is the beach, right?
Yes, yes.
All right. And I would
Yeah, I
say
wouldn't.
my
I wouldn't want to go to the mountains because they got too many animals in the forest in the mountains. You got bear and all this other stuff. I'd rather be out in the ocean.
with
You
the
know.
sharks and the orcas,
And well, no,
stingrays.
or no, no. I've been around stingrays. Stingrays. I went to what's it? The Bahamas, and I saw barracuda. I'm in the water and I saw barracuda and stingrays. They didn't bother nobody. Only time animals bother is when humans go out there and bother them. And that's that's it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm not one for nature either, even though I guess you need it. But yeah, Florida is not a state for me. I don't. It's too hot, and there's alligators that roam the neighborhood. So I'll stick with the squirrels. Coming up onto the porch instead of the alligators. So Philadelphia, it is.
Oh, I can't. Like I said, I'd rather be on the beach, sitting on a porch and letting the cool ocean breeze come in and do some fishing now and then.
So
You
where
know,
was your favorite family vacation?
my favorite. Wow. When I was growing up, my grandmother she belonged to this church, and every year they would go on a picnic, and they go to different locations, and that's what I like the most because you go to different music parks and you have a picnic lunch and rode different rides, and that's pretty much it when I was coming up.
And what was this called?
Um, well, it's just a church picnic.
Church picnic, and that
Which
was your vacation.
uh, well, to me at that time, yes,
Yeah. You see
but that was more
now,
like a 1 day. That was like a 1 day trip.
right?
1 day
You know,
trip.
my wife Nicolette and mom, you guys all have the same answer. Is mom and Nicolette? They said, well, their favorite vacations as a child was vacation Bible school because they were so poor they couldn't afford to go nowhere. They could only afford to go to church. So,
Well,
and they got snacks at the end. And with remember Peyton going to vacation Bible school. That was her favorite part too, was the snacks at the end. So mine was not vacation Bible school. That was not my favorite vacation. Um, even though the snacks were good, um, I went to Christian Stronghold and it just felt like forever. So, um, yeah, I would say my favorite vacation would probably have been going to Myrtle Beach and staying right on the beach, um, and for the whole week. That was fun. Right, being right on the boardwalk. Even though I'm not a big beach person with the sand and everything, but it was a good time. It was a good family time. But all right, so moving on. Um, Now you've been on this earth. Well, you took about 75 trips around the sun so
yes.
far. What would you, if you could change anything about yourself, what would that be?
Well, I take more chances within reason. Um, and when I think about what I could have done, but I didn't do it, you have regret. You have some regrets. So I would take more chances within reason. When I say within reason, not something that's really dangerous, harmful to yourself. Um, that's pretty much it. Take more chances.
It's funny as I was talking to Nicolette about this a while back, and like a lot of the, I guess the superstars you might see, like whether it be in entertainment or whatever, a celebrity of sorts. They went out and they took a big chance. They took a risk.
Yes.
A lot of the times in the background, you don't see those people that supported them. in their career, financing them or giving them a place to stay while they build themselves up. So one of my biggest admirations about you is you're always being consistent and never really having to worry. I remember you were laid off one time from Boeing, and I thought it was the coolest thing in the world that you were working at Pep Boys. And I said, "Oh man, Manny, Mo, and Jack. My dad works at Pep Boys, and here you are with a mechanical engineering degree and aerospace engineering degree, and you're working at Pep Boys, and I think it's the coolest thing in the world." But I mean, you did what you had to do. It was, you had a responsibility, you had obligations, you had a mortgage, and I think that was great. And I mean, everybody wants to take a big risk. Everybody wants to hit it big, but there's always people in the background who are those consistent people. Right? Somebody, somebody's big dream. So, and I always tell my nieces and nephews and cousins that you kind of are molded into what you see every day, or not what you see every day. And what I saw growing up was a mother and a father that consistently went to work, that consistently provided. Um, and if there was a big financial hardship, we didn't know much about it. And I mean, I think I kind of emulated that in a sort where you just grind and you go. But I am taking a little more risk because we always told me that a ship in a harbor is safe. That's not what a ship is built for. So taking a leap, slowly but surely, but also staying true to my obligations and responsibilities.
Well, that ship in the harbor, I think that was your mother saying,
That was more. I was trying to give you a little credit, but that's fine.
but that's more so your mother. 'Cause I was always in the harbor.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess
Well, is it, well here?
if I knew like a chances like that when I was laid off from Boeing, that really put me out there where besides working at Pep Boys, I was substitute teacher. Um, what made me so fascinating was on my last day of substituting teach as far as teaching was the last day of the school's term. That's when I got a job with the government. So I said, because the person asked me, you want a job? I said, I'm sorry, but I just got a call back from the government. That was it, for our substitute teaching. But that was a good experience because what the schools, um, we really need help as far as in the schools. Um, see, that's the bad part about it. The kids growing up today, um, they don't know. Well, let me put it this: everything's stacked up against them. The schools, the, you know, the people, the police, whatever. Um, they need to stop doing what they're doing and sit down and think about how to overcome certain things that stacked up against you. And I think the best thing is get a good education. And if you get a good education, that's the one thing that you should strive for, because that's really going to help you in the long run, having a good education. Um, and as far as especially if you're going out in the world today, a good education as far as technical subjects, um, they're really going to help you. Even then, you can always get a job where you don't need a college education. Where you get a job like electrician, plumber, whatever, machinists. They're good paying jobs because you know they're good. I guess I went off on a tangent.
No, that's cool. I mean, I agree because um, there's like so much to an education that does not involve a degree, and I mean, I'm in real estate and an entrepreneur, and you know, just trying to grow my portfolio as far as owning some properties, and it's a difficult task finding skilled labor And when you do, you definitely have to pay the price, but that's something you'll do because you don't want to pay for things twice and three times to finally get it right. So I think that it's a real opportunity for people to go into the trades and but not only just the trades, but become businessmen or women, because there's a big difference between just having a skill and then also applying that skill into a business. And a lot of people either have one and not the other. And so education is important. Well, you might not necessarily have to get a degree in business, but you should be educating yourself in how to run your own business. Um,
Like I said,
so
if you don't
yeah,
get a, yeah, if you don't get a college, you just get your high school diploma.
yeah, you definitely have to be able to finish something.
Yeah. Because nowadays, I read an article that said pretty soon you won't need a college education, just a high school education, the jobs.
Yeah. Well, they say that a lot of the times that success is disguised with the briefcase and the laptop, but a lot of times success is you know in Timberlands and dirty work pants. So
Mm.
it all a wise person once told me success is what you determine it to be. So you shouldn't compare yourself to other people or where they are at their stage in life. Um, and life is not a destination; it's a journey, and you should always be under construction. So it
I
just
guess
doesn't
that's
stop. Your education just doesn't stop when you cross the platform with your cap and gown.
yes.
Where did you go to high school, by the way?
Dobbins Technical.
I was okay.
I was in
That's
22nd and Lehigh. That's where I learned a trade for a machine shop.
mm,
Um, it was all right.
just a really interesting point about you that I want to highlight is you didn't start college until you were 27 years old, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I
So,
wanted to, I had ideas. First, I wanted to be a doctor, but then, you run into roadblocks, money, education, institutionalized racism, stuff like that. And that's okay. I like math. So I said, well, let me learn all math and maybe become a teacher, mathematician. But then opportunity came up where um, the company is they still in existence, but the branch that I work for, they no longer in existence. They advertised the apprentice program, and I applied and I got in. I went to in the evening college, Drexel. Also had a day job. That was 8 hours, and then Drexel, and it was a long haul, but still, once I got that first degree, it was a relief. The undergraduate degree was a relief. Then I went to, far as still having a job, I went to graduate school. This was on the government's dime because the government they was paying as long as you got a B or better, they would pay your tuition and books. But now they don't do that no more because I guess it's very expensive. Overhead stuff like that. But that was a good, for us, good thing. I didn't have to worry about tuition, books. As long as they got a B or better, they pay for it. Like the company, the General Electric. After that, the federal government.
mm, mm. So where
It
did you
used to,
find so to be 27 years old and be a freshman in college? Um, what was your
well,
inspiration or your motivation to at this point you're pushing 30 and I'm people who went the traditional route of going to college right out of high school, where did you find the motivation to say, what, I'm ready to go to college, I want to become as a black man or young black man, to say I want to be a mechanical engineer? How many black mechanical engineers, aerospace engineers did you know growing up where you say this is what I want to be?
um, I remember when I was young, I said to myself, I want to be an engineer. I must have been less than 10, maybe 12, something like that.
Did you
And
know any engineers to say, I want to be an
no,
engineer?
no, I did not. As I was going through school, I met other engineers. I met, as far as black engineers, um, but wasn't too many. It wasn't too many. Just like now, on my job, I might be the only black engineer. I was going to jobs where I'm the only black engineer there. You know, you can say I was the token. Okay. Um, like at Boeing, I met, there was a number of black engineers there at Boeing, you know, but not that many. Because it's, this country, I guess I'm jaded because been through some things where I go for job interviews, the guy come up to me and ask me, "Did you get a job?" Because I was only black there. You know, I looked at him, and I was, like I said, I was only black there, and he's expecting me to get a job. Um, at times where, because I strive to be an engineer, I would people. When I say people, I'm talking about the other people. I would almost get into fights because I'm striving to be the best engineer I could be, and they didn't like that. You know, even now, where I'm at now, because of my age, and they trying to ease me out the door. But not giving me work to do. You know, so it's still there, even though all these years, it's still there. It's still there. Like I said, this country is messed up. Um, it's really messed up because it's black and white issue. And I look at it this way: if instances through history where if black people strive to do better, the other people will destroy it. And they give, like the Muslims, the Black Panthers. Yet still, you have these other organizations like the Ku Klux Klan. They're still around. You get the militia now. They're running around armed and everything. That's what I'm mostly afraid of. Because when I'm not here, when I pass on, I said, what's going to happen to you? What happens to the grandchildren in this country?
Okay.
I figure, well, I gotta make it better, or make it prepare you guys better to handle those situations.
But
Because
what Martin Luther King said, you can only control what you can control. But like Martin Luther King said, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But by all means, keep moving. So that's all I got. It's just through the history of this country, it's been it's been an uphill battle, but we just got to keep moving. Speaking of keep moving, Miss Bass is going to move on to another portion of our show. That's called a segue.
Wow. Thank you, Philip. Thank you, Anthony,
You're welcome.
for such great insight. I learned so much, and it's just so interesting. And since we're embracing, I love this dialogue between father and son. And I don't know how much you get a chance to talk about this with each other, but you guys were very enlightening and endearing as well. The questions that I have in terms about Phil actually gave us these questions as well. It's about fatherhood and the seed. I think Phil said something earlier about how people grow up to be, I had a sign in my office that children grow up to be the love they've known. And I always just took that for granted. Then I realized that it's also the love they didn't know. And children grow up to know the father they've known or the father that they didn't know. And so I'm a great proponent of surrogate fathers, father figures. There are people around who are willing to help and make a difference. The question that Phil wrote was here: what was the best part for either? Now I'm going to ask both of you. What's the best part for either of you of being a father?
I just made a short answer. I said making my kids happy.
Okay. All right. Phil?
The the best part of being a father for me is the laughter, and just trying to put on a strict parent face when and you're trying not to laugh because you know that's something that you would say or that you would do. And I said, all right, I got to be an adult. I can't laugh, but yeah, it's really just seeing you and your children.
Okay, so both. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and that's and it's seeing their potential too, and their seeing their accomplishments. That's the it's a lot, but it's all love. It's all great.
Okay, so you're both on the same wavelength. Okay, now what is the most challenging part of being a father? Either one of you.
Not forcing what you think is best for them on them. Not I mean, you always have a expectations, obviously, and sometimes I guess sometimes you want to live your dreams through them a little bit too. Like I told them, all they have to be lawyers, um, but yeah, that's probably that's probably it.
Okay.
Well, my daughter told me, I said, Peyton, what do you want to be when you grow up? Dad, I want to be a gamer. What do you mean you want to be a gamer? That's what you do for fun. She says, no, Dad, you can make $1 million being a gamer, so you're not going to be a gamer.
Stay tuned. She might be.
You might be.
Right.
That's what they do. Make money off these different games. If you develop those games,
It's engineering, right?
yeah.
So what is your? I'm sorry. What was the most challenging thing for you being a father, as a father?
Who, me?
Yes, sir. You.
Wow. Challenging. Trying to protect them from this world.
Mm.
Tell them what you should do and what you should not do. But still, they did it anyway. That's the biggest challenge. Especially as far as my daughter. You tell her something and don't even pay no attention. That was the biggest challenge.
Those are both powerful. Not forcing your opinion and also trying to protect them. I think men are protectors. In my family grew up, the men. I believe that. My dad. But no matter how much we disagreed with him, we knew that the bottom line was going to be that Daddy had your back and he would take care of that. And as you give, well, we can bemoan, and we do every day, the circumstances in Philadelphia. What bright spots do you see even now in these dark times? Is there any hope or light or anything that you see now?
Well, I guess I so every time I see it, I see light. There's always something that turns it dark. Um, wow.
I always think that it, like the old saying goes, it's darkest right before the light. And I just have to try to remain positive and just think like, every generation or every couple of generations there's a revolution. And I just think that, we're at the point where it's going to be a revolution. It's going to be a change for the better. We always say, every generation say it wasn't like this in my day. And, yeah, growing up, and I guess I came of age or coming of age in 2000, 2001. And that's when I graduated high school, and it was violent back then. I don't think we've seen the numbers, we didn't see the numbers like they are now. But I just think that maybe I'm just hoping that there will be a big change, a revolution of some sort. So.
Well, those are honest answers, and I think that we don't want to just sugarcoat everything and say, oh, let's go singing and dancing into the sunset. We don't, but I appreciate real men having real conversations, and to hear, you know, that men are vulnerable in the sense that they have to look at the whole picture. We always sort of like, you know, daddy was the one, or you know, this wasn't, but all the things and the other secret things that you have to go through. We don't know what happened at the job. We don't know what happened in school. You know, you come home and then there may be a whole nother set of circumstances. And so I think that I was a daddy's girl to my heart, and realizing that I wanted to have girls, and I wound up having sons because I am a son mom. And I remember driving with my children just to work every day or wherever, or going to school. And I would always we would listen to Proverbs every morning. We would read a proverb at whatever the date was, the proverb was. There's wisdom. And I do believe that there is so much knowledge that we have gained, they've gained, but we want them to have wisdom as well. I'm impressed by the number of graduates that we have, the number of accomplishments. That is hope, and I believe in hope. I believe that Christ has not given us. We're still here. We've come through a pandemic. These last 27 months have been unbelievable, but we're still here. Many are not, but those that are still here, we can't just be here. We can't go backward. And I think that listening to our elders is important. So I thank you, Mr. Anthony Simmons, and I thank you in listening to our younger people. And it's funny how, as father and son, you both are mirrors, actually. In about 20 years, Phil, you would be having this conversation your dad would have. And I think that's an honor, the way you were raised, and I appreciate that so much. And I'm going to stop the conversation now just for the sake of the media piece of it, but we're going to continue this conversation. I don't believe in just doing Father's Day or just doing Black History or just doing Mother's Day. It's all year long, every day. And as you start to think of other things, if you were to write a letter to your children, and I don't want you to do it or say it now, but I'm going to ask every man to think about the letter that you write to your children, as if it's your not last will and testament, but what would you say to them? If you have an answer, you can do that now. If not, think about it, because we'll revisit this over the course of the month. I believe, and mothers as well, you know, what I want to say to my sons. And I've found myself in the company of people of like mind. That's the other thing. The old cliche, birds of a feather flock together. And so finding people who aren't cookie cutters, but who believe like you do. And I think, you know, Phil, you're an excellent neighbor to me. And just, I appreciate so much that my sons can give a call and say, do you see my mom? What you doing? They keep trying to move me out of town, but right now I say, you're one of the reasons I can still stay in Philadelphia. So thank you. And Mr. Simmons, we have not finished acting yet, so get ready for our get ready. You remind me of James Earl Jones.
Part two is going to be part 2, 3, and 4.
We're going to keep on doing it. It doesn't ever stop. I don't give up. And so it'll be, when I saw that paper from 2006, I was like, yes, and here it is, 2022. And I'm still giving people look, guys, we're going to do this. We're going to do it. And so we are. But I want to thank you for this wonderful engagement today. And we're going to look forward to more over the course of it. If you have ideas, you know, I'm available, and I just want to thank you so much, and God bless you for being part. We're just going to sign off, but don't you sign off. Okay, thank you on behalf of Cross Culture Christian Theater that we had our first interview for our fathers, our brothers, our husbands, and our sons, and there is so much more awaiting you. So please tune in again for our next session. Thank you, and God bless you.